Can you hear?
Yes.
Too loud?
No.
It can get louder. So first, I would like to extend warm greetings to the Lamas, Khenpo, and Sangha staff of Karma Sonam Dadyeling and Center, as well as all Dharma friends gathered here. The last time I was here was 2013, and I had the opportunity to explain some Dharma, make connection through that, and as well as give one empowerment as requested along the same line. Also this time, upon the return to Canada again, to give one teaching and an empowerment tomorrow, and through that making connection with the Dharma, with all of you, and for myself, I take this as being very fortunate.
Lama gave him among Jisong and the Lame Jisonga Maze and the answer to the Lame Kusum Toki and the Yatin Tamzit number Tapa song and the Molam and the Lapoche Sa. All that take it to that Totem and Yelena Dene and answer Tani and the Ludin Delight. Can be chula. And the Togayopa, how about the chicken yet in the Gom Joyala, the message in the Kamuyopa, or that is what Chiango, Javamonik and such. That's what's our Chichung Monanke, Tomatene, Chumai Barmato, and she give me around Hinky, and that no took Mare.
That all of you have interest in Dharma in general, and in particular have interest in the practice of meditation is very good. And obviously this has to be because of in former lifetimes having accumulated a great deal of merit, having made connections with authentic masters and embraced by their kindness, as well as by having kept the pure relationship or samaya of body, speech and mind with such masters, and making profound aspirations that one may continue to be connected with the Dharma in the future. So by the combination of the power of such auspicious conditions, that within this lifetime that one has interest in the practice of the Dharma in general, and particularly that of the practice of meditation. So one must appreciate along those lines. Obviously, such auspicious conditions or circumstances have not come about because of there not being such causes and conditions. They have not come merely by themselves.
추 맹게니 발라 은 지금 셈라 지 대기 은 최종 개발이요래 당하는 지금 잠부 랜드 추자네 아니야 켈레 메제게 추라 이지 매바소 안다 저 까메당 동al 좌고지 있는 체험도 아니 댄사당 주사게 요 말이 잡 댄사게 요 말이 다바 반낭 동바라고 지라다고 말도 수강라 있는 그 댄사 요 말이 대송다 되는 셈라 있는 다 서로와 동al 치고지 체험도 안데 저니야 타히 현다게 요 말다 매다사 랑히자야 마도 대표적 순절 타히게 요 말이 이내 양다 나는 양 최영근 소라 다 강에다 용거래 동에 용거래 즉발해 나 이나 양 나는 소라 이제 추 잡주자지 요래 상모 당자지 요래 그러봐 근데 송장 때문에 그 타기 망고져 되네 추라 때네 네 강에 셀 투야되다 요러봐 대송도 되는 거는 추 용근 소라 그냥 거지 맥세게 그냥 샘가 대기 차와 또 수용 요래
We must appreciate there is a great difference between those who are inclined spiritually and connected with whatever spiritual traditions, and those who have no relationship with any spiritual practice or tradition whatsoever. In our life, of course, we experienced all kinds of fluctuations, moments of happiness or well-being, and moments of great difficulties. And so, in the case of those who do not, who are not inclined spiritually and who do not subscribe to any spiritual path and tradition, when the moment of very difficult times or adverse circumstances come in their life, they have no one to turn to, they have no one to rely upon, and they are like lost in just mere space. And so, because of such desperate circumstances, they turn to unwholesome indulgences such as taking substances of abuse, or even taking extreme actions of taking one's own life, and so forth. And whereas those who have the opportunity to subscribe to or to rely upon some spiritual path, when it comes to experiences of happiness and sufferings, of course, there are no exceptions. We do experience sufferings and difficulties, but at such moments we have something reliable to turn to, the object of the refuge, the support of the Dharma, that at times of difficulties we find ourselves, we have actually alternative, positive possibilities to turn to.
당하는 양측 추dum게 남진 남내장 다 추줍을 때또 즉다 르게 아니 차살와당 고르와 쇼바라 소바티 나도 르기게와 줍을 망고요래 계속 해용식을 시켜요 다나게 나도 아기 거네 아니 직전에서 라 소베게 되네 송아 개발체 라이크 송아 개발체 이제 당내 나 당내 개와 줍을 망고요래 다 쏘쳐야 되네 샘기 거네 다 공자야 지금 창죽지 샘 저가다 잠바당 닝제 아니 창죽지 샘 아니 겨라야 아니 제네 아니 공답 지주당 라바르 도양테니 나도 티바체부터 로종 로종게 아니야 아니 다 갈때 냠네 나야 대가 맞을 때 아니 제 희내당 라동 아니 차자체 몰라 소베게 되는 되라 냠바샤네 아니 공 받대다 즉 용아 예순기 아니 즉대와 죽존 저거대 다 숨겨봐야 돼. 다 뒤나는 즉 용아니게 and the Yagawa Dupate, Payum Kita Chimboyore, he rang it in Luna, need to go on the Sape, dictate Juma, Tang, tell a day, and the answer Sam Sapo Yunga. Oh, didn't you come there by nine that you didn't come to Palatoba, Hiba, in the Yungre? That's so dead, didn't it? That Payum Chehu, Nuba Chehu did, that same the ten, and the gum joined you to him.
So for those who have the opportunity to be spiritually inclined, opportunity to practice, then there are, of course, different possibilities. One can pursue spiritual path through engaging one's body in wholesome actions, such as making of prostrations and making of circumambulations or offerings, etc. So many virtuous activities that one can perform through one's body. At the same time, there are many virtuous activities that one can perform or engage with one's speech, such as repeating, the reciting of sacred mantras, such as that of the mantra of Genrezi. And in this way, many virtuous activities that one can engage with one's speech. But most important is what one can do with one's mind. That is through the practice of meditation or through the practice of the training of the mind. And so in this way, one can cultivate one's mind towards familiarizing one's mind with loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, or that of awakened altruistic heart. And obviously, from the Mahayana point of view, it is very, very important for one to avail the opportunity of engaging in the practice of training one's mind, so-called the Lojong practice of mind training, and how one can cultivate altruistic heart. And then, along the line, one can practice Hine and Latong meditation, that is meditation of calm abiding and meditation for insight. And so, and then through that gradually one can practice the various stages of meditation like that of Mahamudra. So in this way, that one can use one's body, speech, and mind, all three, toward accumulating as well as cultivating wholesome and virtuous accumulation and habits. And so, yes, obviously, when you engage your body and speech with the practice of Dharma, it is very, very beneficial. And when you engage in the accumulation of merit through one's body and speech, such could help in purifying one's defilements, and through that bringing about clarity of mind, which can be an important element or support for meditation practice. So again, what is most important and what is most beneficial or sort of most useful for one is the practice of meditation.
That lunga le yo go ne, and it took that gawa tachibo in the atme dungi tang, yang in the atme sem get thing do, and the akomiapo, ya hingi ni parla, young, sem the deji chejung and chabarchimo kitayore. That you chew yonge mengi ni nane, and to chew yonge, so sem kinala deji chawa yoba. And chew yonge soon nane. And Chang same thing there, Gomia, Oja, Hingetina, young, Munekan Chikane, Cheung Dogola, I am some dog corona in the Gomji Tene, and it's a dark on it that comes in the cell. Tokuyore, and tell it then, and it's Sam the day here, Hachang Chava, talk to Kuyore.
So, through putting one's body and speech to good use, and one can amass or accumulate a lot of virtue, very beneficial. And yet, if one is able to properly use and steer one's mind through the practice of meditation, that will be even much more beneficial and useful. As I said earlier, that there is a big difference between people who subscribe to and rely upon spiritual path and those who don't. There being quite a big difference. And along the same line, even those who practice Dharma, and yet those who only use body and speech and for practicing Dharma, or those who use primarily the mind to practice Dharma, there is a big difference in terms of the benefit. And so, for instance, if one is able to cultivate one's mind properly, steering sort of meditatively one's mind properly, and then when faced with quite challenging, adverse circumstances, through the familiarity of cultivating the mind, steering the mind properly, one will be able to use whatever adverse circumstances into one's meditation practice, sort of that they become a part of one's meditation practice.
And Sangye Hibade, Manatu Chilone, Tarango, Chilayan Drone, and the Sangye Jita, Gomong Topsiano. Did it catch a mother? Sangye said to the woman and the Sangye, the new song that Semji, Nelo, Tartopa, Sem Konakarang here, Chuni, Kamiba, what that the Sangye, but then I do not hear. The more he ne, that tell ya conjecture, gone. The more he ne, home him, rapid, torn, and the sun get come to.
So when we talk about Buddha or attainment of Buddhahood, and the real means for that is through the practice of meditation. Obviously, virtue accumulated through body and speech cannot be discounted or neglected. They can be of tremendous benefit. What directly impact in terms of realization of Buddha mind is through the practice of meditation. For instance, when we talk about Buddha or attainment of Buddhahood, we are not talking about making some kind of actual external journey and from a particular place and reaching to a certain destination. When we're talking about Buddha or Buddhahood, what is it that we must understand or recognize is essential nature of the mind. Ultimate nature of the mind, the nature of the mind as it is. And sort of the very essential nature of the mind to simply recognize, have the authentic know-how of the nature of that mind, and having that authentic know-how, cultivating familiarity with that know-how, and through that, then this is the actual means towards realizing of one's own Buddha mind.
Ngaranso korwa thoma mebane tene bhasha ngembi ke tobla tene and sem chulne sem de bachela do yeng de yor kha nang to korne sem korang ke delokte tan ina tag yo mare hing yo mare thong yo mare sem khal che te and that dig one gay, and a true the yore, true what della tene, leane bas, mango sayore, della tene, Donyu yore. That tele dode, nang to corne, rang senti, and nelo, kang bati, moshi bar sene, and tea tengla, nyamba shat to paina, and when I turn in the ta, say, true paja tamje jang, that same nelo, moshi bar the tene, senti, tenge, and the true paja tamje said to be all. And the true paja tamje says so much, and some get you.
So, generally for us, from beginningless times, we're lost in the cyclic existence, accumulating all kinds of unwholesome habitual patterns, and through the accumulation of all kinds of unwholesome habitual patterns, we become totally bewildered or totally confused. And through abundance of confused distractions, we become totally extroverted and sort of don't have a sense of getting in touch with one's own being. And so the practice of meditation is counter to being extroverted and being continuously distracted by all kinds of habitual illusions. The practice of meditation is to turn inwardly and then to begin to see the nature of one's mind. And not only see, understand it. And not only understand it, but being able to actually look at it. And so, when one fails to do that normally, so what happens is, one is distracted extrovertly, and so therefore one is caught up in all kinds of distractions or confusion. And confused habitual tendencies accumulate negative karma. Negative karma result into all kinds of sufferings, sort of the way these cyclic existence occurs. Whereas if we are able to appreciate and the possibility and then begin to turn more inwardly and begin to understand one's mind. And through actually understanding one's mind, stay in that state of understanding, sort of in tune with that outlook, and rest and become familiar with that outlook. Through seeing the very nature of the mind, the habitual tendencies begin to subside by themselves, or unravel, or cease to be, or in other words, the habitual patterns become self-exhausted.
Same thing, no thing, no keep at it, and taking on the shot to go. That will go on there, Unachana, La Washitade, Tap de Washitade, Flandamita Gom Guyo Mare, and that Guyo Mare, and Luigi got it over cake at Chico Mare. Jenny, Lulu, Lune, and the same Koranga and that my Luigi, Lune. And the same Koranga in the Rango Tayach. I also in the Tenga part of same the Rango Ta machine in the Troll de Yore, Rango Marik Pare, and Kache Marik Pares. That I will lay lavo, tap the Wachiona, and some let the Gom Jack Singrava. And take home Jab Shiba Latin, Samasan Ganograva Sena. That is regular Marik. Kind Sena. Go better lay Latane. Le la in the Tilly Chili or my Wonderwa. Chicago Lela, what that thing, my son, get over top of that. He wrote to Kaleja. That the Tatas and he was gone there in the Athena San Diego, some Mamato, and the rank the same more sheeper chene, day nala in a chane, gom, this one get as an also check it now and do money. Ye cheat to be your money. Gentle. Nine, I'm also in the yata. Toma mepan around the magic draw depan. Then Kazata, time ye hued. Around the same time ye hued, around the center. Got time near in the Toma the body. Then around the make around to make it, the cheek no go tongue to be or and the make corang tongue to be your mother. That I around the same dig and the cheek and now I'm not so but dig nature, haku your, he took your, and the same corang nature, but he took your mother. Oh, that's something le lata, ta near rane, and another gomja, gomja in the car, trovato, money about it, gomja your mother, and the hitching your mother, looking your mother. Or tender song down that tea, and then also good, Toman about Debbie, the order, that did you to Hakova Chene, and the same Nello, the he but said, tell a hitching, the tall and yammer hat to what's called. They took not, net on it, level, tone, and the sun yet come top to the other guy.
So now the primary focus, sort of the target, is that of understanding one's mind. That is the very object of the practice of meditation. There is nothing other than that knowing and seeing one's own mind, and then cultivating familiarity with one's own mind. So basically, that should not be that difficult. It should be, in fact, quite simple, quite easy, because it doesn't involve having to familiarize with the visualization of many deities. It doesn't involve having to learn to repeat many different kinds of mantras and so forth. It simply amounts to allowing one's mind to occur naturally and naturally at ease. And so in this way, that's all there is. And that is as simple as it can be in terms of meditation. So obviously the question that we would have then is, if it is that simple, if it is that easy, then why haven't we gotten it until now, or gotten it yet, rather? And that if it is that easy, then obviously many would have just gone through it, and many would have by now realized Buddhahood or become Buddhas. So yes, on one hand, it's just that. It's so simple and so easy. On the other hand, unfortunately, given our sort of case history of habitual tendencies, it is not easy. That the one main reason is the difficulty lies in being that it is so easy, that we just can't believe that it's possible. That to attain Buddhahood, it must involve some complex, sort of colorful combination of things, and it couldn't be just this. So simply that we can't believe it can be this easy, and so therefore we can't trust in the possibility of its being this easy. Then another reason it is easy yet unfortunately difficult. It should be easy because the one thing that has been with us all along, and in a very close and intimate way, is that of our mind. There has been nothing that has been more intimate and closer to us than that of our mind. It is just so close to us that we fail to see it. Just like, our eyes are so close to us. In fact, they're attached to us. And our eyes happens to see all external display or play of phenomena and so forth. But the eye fails to see itself. So in this way, that it is too close for us, sort of too close for comfort. And so in this way, that we fail to see it. So in this way, that if we can begin to appreciate the fact that, so right now because of these things, the problem that we are faced with is, it is so easy that we can't believe that it's possible. It is so close to us also that we just pass it. We can't see it because it's so close to us. And so therefore when we fail to trust, we fail to appreciate, obviously the result is we fail to connect.
다시 시기 의보 탐지 통화를 제때 나랑서 맥디 아니 랑게 맥 랑게 통투비요 말해 이나양 나랑도 매동라고 셔고라고 제 남가 때나 소리한테 소리 통투기도 와 어빼데 나게 아니 랑게 셈게 내로 추니 대양 안직문에 라마 테니가 덴바 아니 공라 냥냥 용게 아 텐데 나마 제게 이니야 다랑게 셈데 모테네 이니야 곰도 쪽바이나 아니 셈 그런 게 내로 강nya 바데 통투그레스.
So just as in the actual reality, that while our eye that seems to see all things cannot see itself, and in order for us to see our eyes, we need to have the support of a mirror. And through looking at the mirror, we appreciate the fact that we have the eyes that sees all the things. So along the same line, in order for us to see our mind as it is, we need the mirror-like authentic spiritual master who can actually guide us and lead us into the practicality of the path of meditation so that we can actually, just like seeing our own eyes in the mirror, that we can begin to gradually see our own mind.
저랑도 내 해주기 주대 공기 뒤네 근데 가서다 상계지는 공방 아니 토트비 컵 대여스 근데 다들 해요 봐 공기 뒤네 뒤 프로스는 다 상계 공기 쪽으로 봐뒤 프로 다 공기 뒤네 뒤 프로듀트 다 단단 내 휴지 힘비게 안게 생기 내로 어떤 추니에 아니 라마탄데 너네 모두 톱네 다디 듀종네 곰터바이나 곰기 듀네 다 듀롤스야 뜻다진데 비요래.
So this evening's topic, for instance, freedom through meditation, and which I would take as experience of complete awakened heart or Buddhahood through practice of meditation. And so what I'm sharing with you this evening is exactly that. How, through the practice of meditation, one can, that is given an authentic master who has not only the knowledge but the experience, the insight to be able to guide through that introduction, and based on that understanding, if one practices meditation, which means cultivate familiarity, then definitely that will lead one to freedom, or the freedom one will gain through the practice of meditation.
다 곰 작술 때야 다 뭐마이나 나 제대로 말해 남다리 용다래 어다 꾸제텔라 아니 웬베게더니 그래라 아니 또다 그 탐제냐 루땅 남이응땅 눈제 타다 빵 라니 찍고 아니 다 내로 셈게 내로 춘이 지나라 제책도 냐바샤네 는 뭐버도 파상게 정말 두스레 다 된장 두도라 대답을 내가 공자 통해서야돼 다 신도 내장 공부를 해제다 요 말에서는 하나님 줘봐도 그래 사바동가는 늦죠라 다 대답을 내야더니 mesela 다 공자 된게도 다 제게네 제거나 해제다 이해안 나와도 그래 다 간데스 공자 그런 것도 단다세나 저한테 지용을 왔다 제 공자네 네 공지 규네 다 규직 돌고요래 다들 돌투다 탐람 현다 간데 요래서는 다 저한테 지용을 와 어다 디고네 단도 두쇼예
As to now, how can we approach the practice of meditation? How can sort of we get involved? That in the good old days, and during the times of such as Milarepa, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with the profound life stories of Milarepa. And so Milarepa, that he dwelt in the remote places of quietude, gave up everything, even the care and concern for food and basic needs, and away from all objects of distractions, distancing himself from anything to do with distractions, and thus having one thing to do and one thing in his mind, that is simply rest in the nature of one's mind and one's whole life. Now, of course, today's time is different. And these days, someone like Milarepa is very rare, or we can almost say probably non-existent for that matter. Then, especially when it comes to sort of the busy Western society, someone who is able to dedicate one's life exclusively for the practice of meditation, well, it's not there. And so, nevertheless, that if that is not possible, then how can we, given our present situation, make a breakthrough? How to go about, or as the sort of the topic has, how to gain authentic freedom through the practice of meditation. So I'll try to share some points with you along this line.
제 밀라레바라 소베기 때데 다 주도 공만 남제 남달 당 데른 가상 가능 소연이 야트니다 곰자의 인생의 가능 소연이 추바스게 다 내당 때니 따다다 도저래 되어 사방 도저래 되어 다 등상 가능도 가려었으나 남이행당 눈제 초드 아니 오늘 전에 다 메다달라 이제 다 내가 최종적 마도 딱된 수조 망보는 라인에 내가 내거야 아 다시 공자야 그 공자고를 추저 고를 때 이제 공자야 그 두조요 말에 두조 때문이요 말에 나는 눈제 다 다가 나게 등상하는 손 잡을랑 민남 다 Milarepa Nanki Jenny Kawache to be Yamare. Kipo Jenny, the Kangba Kibo, and the Savo Yuna, and the Changlotan, Chango Yuna, Salotan. Oh, the Kala in a Muneton and the Taji Kangyaya. Oh, a Kuina Kangyaya. That is the chicken Doyo Longjo, like in the Atini, that are Hima. Namientang Duzi. That is don't donate Monjo Kuma to Dokuma Namdal Tuna, Manato Tada Dozo de Diore. That is the Tangandu on a Takom Jaya, Takalva to us. The Tatin in the Twayum Tangandu Komjaya, Kalvayo Mares. Monjo Kuma Namdata, Tada in the Yatin Dozo de Diore, Takom Kalvayo Mare, in the Samba, something about. Tayin Yang, Yang Sangetang. Changjub Samba Tamze, Tapkela, Tuji Chembore, Teladene, Yang Tablam, Yuda Yores. That didn't want to Tablam de Beju Tanki, but Nangorata.
So, how Milarepa was able to dedicate his life completely for the practice of meditation, and where we are with our lives these days is like poles apart. And so they can't be more opposite to each other. And so Milarepa was completely free from all sources, all objects of distractions, and all worldly engagements whatsoever. We, on the other hand, is in a very opposite place. We have every and all objects of distractions, and we indulge in every and all objects of distractions. Everyone is busy. All people are busy with smaller or bigger jobs or whatever task, but all the time, constantly busy getting very distracted and busy doing things. And so it's like, even if we want to practice meditation, somehow we feel we don't have the time to practice. Even if we want to practice, we are kind of dharmically inclined, but we feel we don't have to practice because that we are busy with constant sort of exposure and distraction by objects of distractions. And then also another is that we cannot undertake the enduring, the arduous journey that someone like Milarepa took. And we are sort of too soft for that. And we want comfort and material well-being. And it's not enough that we have accommodation. When it's hot, we need air conditioning. When it's cold, we need the heater. We need not just food, we need good food to eat. We just don't need clothes, we need very many good, so-called good clothes and so forth. We are driven by desire for materiality. And so therefore, it can't be more opposite, Milarepa's and ours. So given that case, when it's so poles apart, then obviously we should have a question. And the question is, so under such circumstances that we do not have the opportunity to practice the Dharma, we are not fortunate enough to be able to embrace the practice of the Dharma. Fortunately, that is not exactly so. Because of the great compassion and the kindness and the skillful means of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. If we are inclined, even we still have possibilities and opportunities.
미세기는 소리 나라 안식아 제대로야 되는 룡아 예수님께 개와 죽여와 화발도 아니 다지 공다기 휴대와 아니 공게네 내로 기바잖아 때때네 되는 공 유여와 다 된다지 나랑서 이야 람게 직속도 미세 나라 니 아니면 난주대 다 차라리는 같이 모래 다들 때나 니만 인강 아주 공자야 그 두소요 말을 두야 당한 소식 내가 딱 냠들라 얘기하더니 딱 공대 대대야 약시 받지 거래 도마를 남이 군도네 공기는 체체 그 엔디 체제는 맹아데 안다 소소냐 밑에 소위 난도 내가 냠도 이 템도 있는 공자 톱다 난도 다른 게지 소소는 야 지금 떠와요나 공나 떠와요나 아니 두고 톡그래 아니 지금 다 레로당 나면 떠와면은 야다 가세 그 대답을 지금 말아 딱 공기 가르치 주로 좋아하다고 용네 공기에 내 듣는 즉 다까지 연대라고 돼 소소에 요라 있는 기바이나 아니 무슨 나라 있는 공자야 요래 야 톡그래 내가 레게라 내가 레게라 때 까마들 니네 발생 톡그래 와 뒤까라 그냥 제시 때네 근데 소소게는 과 공구나 때때고 제시세도 개쳐버려 만나서 있는 제시 따도 둘다 남바고도 제시 요나 아니 너도 뭐다 당겨라 거미야 요래 내가 레게라 거미야 요래 그래서 시기 길라 거미야 요래 또 공 탈 트버는 야 진짜기 전로다 대수게 있는 거서 쌤다 때대는 야 편도 친구 좀 그래
So acknowledging our own reality, that we are in a reality where we are distracted, we are constantly fixated on objects of clinging, whatever objects of materiality. We are constantly busy with one thing or the other. And in the midst of this, it is nevertheless possible for us to engage in wholesome actions with our body and speech. And that is possible and can be beneficial. And most importantly, it is possible that we can still, in the midst of all of this, find sort of windows of opening for the practice of meditation with our mind. And that is of tremendous importance. So in this way, given the reality that one lives in, how one can incorporate the authentic practice of the Dharma in one's everyday life. How can one bring the path of the practice of the Dharma into one's daily life? So, in this way, if one can begin to take interest in that, this becomes very, very meaningful in one's life. And so, therefore, every day, while one is doing one's work, and along with one's work, how one can bring the virtue in one's life, the cultivation of the habits of virtue, how can one bring the practice of meditation bit by bit into one's life? And obviously, that is possible, but in order for one to be able to initiate it, obviously, one needs to appreciate the importance of practice of meditation as we are talking about, what it really means. And through appreciating that one has enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is very important. Interest and enthusiasm. And on the other hand, if one give way to the habits of constant laziness and constant distractions and a lack of interest, then obviously we deprive ourselves of such good possibilities. But if we take to heart with enthusiasm, with certain amount of diligence, and maybe in due course, one begins to personally, through of course proper instruction, through the bit by bit familiarization, one begins to experience the flavor of the meditation, sort of taste, mentally taste what is actually like. And one begins to taste certainly enthusiasm and interest will be invigorated. And so this way, that if one can begin doing just for even 1 minute, 1 minute is not sort of a little in that sense. Begin where you can begin, practically speaking. And so, even if you can do 1 minute, and then in the course of the day, befriend yourself with something that is most beneficial, that is mindfulness. Befriend yourself with mindfulness, that constantly befriend with being present. And if you learn to be present, that is to be mindful, then any and every circumstances is a possibility to bring meditation. And so, even if you are driving, it's possible. Even if you're talking or doing some work, if you can befriend and sort of stay in touch with mindfulness. And so possible. So in this way, even if you can just begin that way, that can be of tremendous benefit.
강아서 니마르라 추조 니히타기 니인다세 추조 니히타기요라 추조 니히타기 나네 강아서 곰자야 세난다 추기 콜라 삼노타야 까마추 다 땅토가 제거르데 추조 니히타기 나네 까마추 나와 다 때가 땅토게라와 나와야 아 간데스 딴 것은 나도 통마야 랑도 니자니야 랑마 타데 다 삼로때 땅야지 다 되는 게 니만데가 네 르가 예 숨지 거네 아니 심지 술라이나야 네 노바다 노비기 그 아니 방강 툭툭 방기 냐바라 대체 돈제제 되는 게 니만데가 네 르가 예 숨지 거네 아니 심지 술라이나야 나는 페토 강도 아니 페바다 대와 쭉 강도도지 나는 쭉게 삼바 다 텐데 로제게 와 다 디삼로니 책당다 와 다 배우쳐 버티 삼바 거는 꾸는 거랑 땅야 랑마다도 꾸는 데다 깨도 봐야나 아니 들은 니만 영강 샘데 아니야 다 개와당 냠도가 어떤 데디요래 개와당 냠도 데디요 배우쳐 버리라 텐데 삼로 땅야래 제가 까마책 마도 보지 마라.
So now, when we think of day and night, we're talking about 24 hours. And so, out of the 24 hours, we should be able to give at least 10 minutes to the practice of meditation or practice of Dharma. Now, just being absolutely realistic, that much anybody should be able to do if one is a bit sincerely inclined. So, then we can just start with only that amount of time out of 24 hours just only 10 minutes. So in terms of how to go about it, just being realistic. And the first thing that one does when one wakes up, upon waking up, upon rising, that one should commit oneself to a resolve, to an attitude. And no other work, just it's a matter of placing the mind in a particular framework. And that is, the first one is, immediately upon rising, sort of shaking it off and then saying that today, the moment that I wake up, whole day, that I will do my best not to commit harmful actions through my body, speech and mind, as well as do my best not to create causes for direct harming or created causes for harm through my body, speech and mind, making that mental resolve. And the second sort of aspect or part of that, and for today, whole day, through my body, speech and mind, I will commit to whatever very sort of small, tiny, or even a little bit bigger, wholesome actions of body and speech and mind and causes of virtue, and what will therefore benefit others. And just simply that, to give rise to that attitude and hold that sort of resolve. And so how long will that take to just to have that attitude? At the most 1 minute to make that resolve. But if one can hold that outlook, that whole day one's actions of body, speech and mind will be sort of steered by that resolve, steered by that motivation. Just think about how beneficial such a simple change of attitude can bring about.
Today, Nibada ta gom japala in lu tang sem ki ne in ya hi gores. Ane ta ngoma in a gom jatu yang je lu ne nam nang chu de ta je kang ba do je ke tong cha la ba nyam ya ane pe lu chang bo sang ta do xia ke ne ya yo re ta deng zang ka re a nga su ta kang ba do je ke tong cha ne wen de to te gom ya ta ka le kha bo so so ba si te kang la kang ba ma chang juk je lo chang juk se la ba so to se lo je ta kang da lu de ya chang bo sang a long ro len sum sa la ba long ro len sum sa long ro sa se ta lu re ane ka na da o de ne da lu ke pa pu ga ne ane je long zuo ba nan ge de long zuo ba ma da ba tang je ne ba o de yang de ma su chen bu stang di ga la ane rang ge ta je je wa na ma nam su sa pe ke ane je ta le ji che ba fa kwa de gom ja ba la ane ya se ta zhen ba ya ha de zhong ge de da tam je pa sa song sa ba je nu ba na bu na ba se ke chen bu ke de do yang de de yang long ge de ne ga la ane sang ge da chang zu sa ba nam ji ane gu dong tu ki ching a dang yi hi tam je ane je o se ka bu ke na ba ane so lo oi a te ta le sum je ya na te la te je ka ma che ma do ane go ba
Now, the second important element for the practice of meditation is